All right, here we go again. So you have to explain to the court the psychology. You got to find psychological experts to explain it. What they're doing is creating a combat environment. They're simulating it with everything they're doing. This is what they do. Deep State does that, but this is what they do in prison of war camps. So an officer that's going to a protest is not keyed up at the level of an officer going on an arrest mission. Obviously, bad things can happen, but when you're looking for somebody, you're in a heightened level of situational awareness. And of course, protests only last so long generally. And there's refuge and other things they can seek. Their idea is they can do whatever they want until you stop doing what you're doing. That's a deep state shadow government criminal enterprise scam. They've used it for years. The narcos are essentially ordering President Trump out of office. That's what's happening. The narcos and the sex traffickers and the fraudsters and the foreign spies that run their scams across the globe with these people that I speak about are ordering President Trump out of office, ordering him impeached. So it's not hard to figure out who's who in this scenario. Well, I believe President Trump learned a few of his lessons on what to focus on and what not to focus on. They're still unfocused a little bit, but hopefully they get more focused. And that's probably just nobody can advise them in the right direction or didn't know what to say, or maybe they didn't ask them. Comey's easy to set up, but you're not going to get him that way. In the way you try. It's stupid, actually. Somebody may have actually saved Comey if they recommended doing that and they knew what they were doing. Comey would have committed a felony in no time had he thought, he could get away with it. But again, maybe you knocked him out of that slot. Kash Patel can tell us the truth on that in due time if he commits another felony with his buddy Brennan or Mueller. I guess Mueller's in a memory unit, supposedly. I don't know if that's true or not. Could be just a scam to keep him out of everything and keep him alive. I don't remember anything. Bye. Or you end up like, who's the guy in the canoe? Is that Webster? That had the quote unquote heart attack with the upside down canoe. Mueller not going down. I don't remember anything. I need memory care. God bless him if he does. I'm not going to make fun of somebody's memory. Haven't had family members have those issues. That may be he may be a genius on how not to be executed by the deep state in your golden years. I need memory care. I don't remember anything. So again, you have to bring people in that will describe the situation. If you hear me say thank you, there's spirits touching in. I'm an open channel. Like if I talk to you, I don't do that. So when my channel, for some reason, the Lord controls my channels. For some reason, while I'm broadcasting, the Lord wants it open. Now, again, I am reading things while I'm broadcasting, and I know some things are happening in relation to the broadcast. Now, it could be real time or it can be triggered by the broadcast. Like they can curse me last night and it could hit today. But again, I can read those things. But being open like that causes me to speak, the spirit world. Some people hear this stuff in their head. So again, you have to bring in psychologists to explain the situation and what's happening to the officers. Whether they realize I can see that they realize the whistles are being whistled at the officers in harassment. I can already see that. There's evidence everywhere of that. That it's not like, hey, Mr. Immigrant, run away. I mean, maybe that's what they say, and maybe that's part of it. But if you watch them, they're using it as a weapon, a psychological weapon. And whether they know it or not, that's technology used in prisoner of war camps, used by military intelligence in war, and used by the Central Intelligence Agency in the things that they do, the things that they do. So again, this has to be explained to the court so the court understands that the officers are already, because you're at that point that you should have been explaining it already. So he said, why did these officers report this strange? Why? Because I said this about Schlager. And Schlager was a less of a case for it than this one. We have scenario fulfillment. We have well, it's like walking up to like an IED and just start shaking it around. That's what they're doing. You might as well do that. It's probably safer. These officers have shown great restraint. Well, what they're doing is an operation to cause the officers better reasoning to fail. Now, the government's a little afraid of that because they're saying, well, we're saying that we're failing in our reasoning. No, I think you've done great. I think the statistics are actually on your side as to not having that issue. But the basic truth is that this environment is designed to fail an officer's reasoning and to cause stress. Now, if you listen, if you can hear cyclically, they go, well, all you have to do is stop the operation. That's bullshit. That's extortion. They're extorting you. They are engaged in racketeering, organized crime. While extorting. And the method they're using is spycraft and psychological warfare techniques. Sometimes the cults will use these also against their enemies, and LDS, I caught them using it. LDS is a full-blown cult in the deep state. I don't care if they're conservative or liberal or anything else. They're no doubt operators looking for that $1 million payoff. You know, the crying shame of it, some of them are already millionaires. They just need that next million. Give me a fix. Give me a fix. We're just building temples, that's all. So it's a scam like the rest of the religions. What they'll say if I say they're extorting me, that I admitted to a crime. That's deep state bullshit. That's why I'm not in court on that, because it doesn't even hold up to anything. Let me a bunch of cronies sitting around bullshitting so they can feel good about being devils and worse. Right. Now you find out they're waterboarding their kids. I mean, I didn't like, what's his name? Kirk. I didn't like Kirk, but you know, I didn't wish death on him. I knew it was a death wish to say some of the things he was saying. Just like it's a death wish for these people out there that are engaged in. It's not protest. You have to argue before the court that this is like a racketeering effort to extort the government into not enforcing the law, and they're using techniques designed by spies somewhere. I don't know how they got it, but these are techniques designed by spies. They're not blowing a whistle to save the community. They're not really saving that woman, because if they were saving that woman, they wouldn't be out there. Do you understand that? There would be no interaction between the public and ICE if they weren't out there. It would just be an immigrant, that they're unlawfully deporting. And of course, we found out there's a ton of criminals in there. But I will tell you, their communities are money laundering communities. We need to diminish the size. They know what's going on. The narcos know what's going on. You're diminishing the size of their community, which means their community that they get to rule. These hardworking Americans would do whatever the narco told them for $10,000. I guarantee it. I've been there, and probably even less. So these hardworking immigrants, a lot of them are simply fronts for the cartel. Let's vote for the cartel. Bing, bing, Schumer. Bing, bing, Newsom. I told you it's a fight. We're going to fight for these people in Kensington that you will not fight for, that Krasner won't fight for. If Krasner's such a hotshot, why do we have those people in Kensington? A worldwide joke to laugh at the United States. Why, Krasner? Why people in Kensington don't have normal lives? Why are they there like zombies? Because of you and the other bullshit artists who get rich on other people's misery. You want to get loud, Krasner? I'll get louder. I'll thunder across the world so that people in Kensington can live normal lives. Remember, that's what these senators and congressmen are doing by saying Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. How dare you block the narcos? How dare you block the sex trafficking money? How dare you block the public assistance fraud money? Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. Right. Right. So it is melting. I didn't notice it was melting. What it was is the snow around my van is all I could see that area, and that's still high. But that was like double high, I guess. That doesn't melt too fast. The other stuff's melting. It's a mess. Some of these neighbors don't even look to wave. They don't like me. You know, they could be crooks. A lot of crooks in the world. They don't like waving, you know. They know you're a cop or we're a cop or something like that. Unless you're a dirty cop. Then they wave all day. Hi! Thanks for the narcotics! That's why they're saying Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. It isn't only just vote. Some of them are extorted, some of them are bribed, some of them have ordered through the cartels and these immigrant communities, even if they call themselves hardworking immigrants, the execution of people in their communities. They're mobsters. I believe some of these judges got caught sleeping with their clerks and were extorted over. But again, some weren't caught. They just fell for the fishing expedition. Again, you should instruct that to people so they know that could happen, that they could be extorted for things that other people don't know. They're just simply fishing for something to extort them. It took me some years till I figured out what they were doing in that regard, but I did figure it out. Well, because you're also weak, they stay attacking me. If you weren't weak, this thing be gone because they wouldn't succeed anywhere. So again, I don't know if the Guthrie thing is it. That could be an American, it could be a foreigner, it could be anybody. But I'm telling you, I sat back wondering if this was the point that Hashem was beginning to flip the trigger. No, anything I say has no will attached to it. I just give it to Hashem. I say it. It has no power to do anything unless Hashem powers it. But at a certain point, if you don't clear up what I'm saying to clear up, Hashem will flip the triggers for war, and we'll end up going into Mexico. I mean, if Guthrie was taken by a Mexican, not going to look too good. But again, I'm not telling you that. It could be an American citizen, could be somebody from another country, a Vietnamese, anybody. But I'll tell you what, that Bad Bunny production gave Trump a bunch of votes. They said, well, forget it. We're not voting for anybody but Trump. Not after Bad Boone. Bad Boone, I call you out. Or Bad Boone. That guy on, he's Jamaican, and he acts like he doesn't know English. And he goes in a store and he puts a couple of slices of bread and a couple of eggs on the counter, but he brings them into the store with him. And they think he's trying to buy it. It's like, no, you got to buy the whole loaf. You got to buy the whole. That's the way he talks or speaks. He goes, that's Jamaican money. I think he tries to give him Jamaican money. He goes, here. We don't take Jamaican money. They get it in the end because they're on YouTube or whatever. I don't know if he pays them in the end or not for the right to put them on YouTube. So again, Trump got a lot of votes off of that because they were first going to go, well, yeah, it sounds good, it's overkill, and then they saw what it really meant. I've been telling you it's that for a long time. But again, if people are going to help us, then they get the benefit of the doubt. So they got to make that move. So I think you should pardon Menendez because that was a setup. That's a deep state setup. And Menendez, again, his own party was trying to kill him because he wouldn't play the game. Now he might stand up for immigrants and things like that, but again, it's not all about the political uh, platform. And anyway, he's not going to go anywhere but into the back row. And actually, he may shut up if you gave him, if you let him out. And he'll go into the back row. He's a friend to a lot of people, did a lot of good things for people. Messed up by taking that money, but I think it was one of those psychological things where nothing else would make sense because the spies made sure nothing made sense. And again, there are FBI people trained to level spies as far as manipulation. And then, of course, the contractors and the PIs and all. That would burn the Democrats. I'm just telling you it would. I'd do it just to burn the Democrats. So again, you have to explain to the court what's going on. Again, there's a way to explain it so you don't seem wimpy. Well, it's designed to cause that confusion. So if you get injured because you're trying to confuse me and your people are confusing me, then it's on you. Essentially, she was reckless. They were all reckless around them for how many days did it go on before something like that happened? A couple months at least. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do.